Imagine the horror of three young sisters, just 5, 8, and 9 years old, reported missing after what was supposed to be a routine custody visit. Days later, their tiny bodies discovered at a remote campsite, their lives stolen in a way that left even seasoned investigators shaken. And now, after months of searching through some of the most unforgiving wilderness in Washington state, officials believe they have found the remains of the man accused of ending those lives, their own father, Travis Decker. Authorities say human remains discovered in a dense, wooded area south of Leavenworth appear to belong to Decker, though DNA testing will make the final confirmation. Decker, an Army veteran with survival skills, had eluded capture for months, sparking an intense manhunt across rugged terrain, involving drones, cadaver dogs, and federal agents. His case gripped the nation because of its sheer brutality, and because of the unanswered question that haunted the search. Was he still alive, hiding, watching, waiting? The tragedy began on May 30th, when Decker failed to return his daughters, 5-year-old Olivia, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 9-year-old Peyton, after a court-ordered 3-hour visit. Their mother, desperate and terrified, reported them missing. What should have been a normal exchange quickly spiraled into every parent's worst nightmare. Authorities launched a massive search, focusing on the Cascade Mountains. Just days later, they discovered Decker's abandoned truck near Rock Island Campground. And then the heart-wrenching discovery, the sisters' bodies, down a small embankment, not far from the vehicle. Investigators found plastic bags over their heads, zip ties scattered nearby, and even a bloody fingerprint linking the crime directly back to Decker. DNA samples confirmed it. The evidence pointed to no one else, but Decker himself was gone, vanished into the wilderness, leaving behind only his dog, some equipment, and chilling questions. How could a father carry out something so unimaginable? And where did he go? For weeks, then months, the search expanded. Federal marshals, state police, and local deputies braved rivers, cliffs, and thick forest, unsure if Decker was hiding or if nature had already claimed him. His military background made the pursuit even more unnerving. Experts said he could have had the training to live off the land, avoid detection, and survive in conditions that would overwhelm most people. Each new lead came up cold, deepening the mystery. And now, for months later, officials say the mystery may finally have its grim answer. A body, believed to be Decker's, has been found in a remote, wooded location. Though positive identification is still pending, investigators say all signs point to him. The discovery offers a measure of closure, but not comfort. 3 little girls are still gone. Their mother, their family, and their community are left with grief that no arrest, no discovery, no ending can erase. As the news broke, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office confirmed the remains were being processed with the help of the Washington State Patrol Crime Scene Response Team. DNA testing will follow. Officials have already contacted Decker's family, bringing them the painful update, but the details of this case remain haunting. Why did Decker allegedly suffocate his daughters with plastic bags? Why bring them to a remote campsite in the Cascades, a place usually known for hiking and beauty, and turn it into a crime scene? Investigators say the plastic bags and zip ties were scattered across the site, as though left in haste, as though he wanted no doubt about what happened there. And yet, he disappeared. Was it panic? Guilt? Or was this always part of his plan? At the 1-minute mark, let's pause and think. How does a man who once wore the uniform of the United States Army end up accused of killing his own daughters? Was this a descent into madness? Or was it something calculated long before? That's the chilling question haunting this case. The search for Decker wasn't easy. Officials brought in every tool available. Drones scanning the skies, cadaver dogs combing the ground, and even GoPro cameras strapped to rescuers as they ventured into dangerous canyons and rivers. They were chasing a man who had a head start of 3 days, and possibly the skills to stay hidden indefinitely. Entire communities were on edge, fearing Decker might still be out there, capable of more violence. Yet week after week, nothing. Until now, his body, discovered by chance in a wooded location so remote that it speaks to either his desperation to hide or his inability to survive. For investigators, it ends the chase, but it doesn't end the heartbreak. Every minute we revisit this story, we are reminded of the 3 little lives lost. Olivia, Evelyn, and Peyton. Their names must not be lost in the shadow of their father's actions. Each of them had a future, a school year ahead, birthdays to celebrate, a mother waiting for them to come home, and all of it stolen, allegedly by the very person entrusted to love and protect them. Here's another moment to stop and reflect. When children lose their lives in such horrifying ways, how do communities recover? How does a mother find strength to go on? These are the kinds of wounds that don't heal with time alone. They become part of a community's memory, a reminder of both fragility and resilience. The sheriff leading the case, Mike Morrison, told CNN earlier that Decker likely escaped on foot after abandoning his truck. He left behind gear that suggested he wasn't fully prepared for survival. Unless, Morrison warned, he had hidden caches of supplies somewhere in the forest. That thought only fueled fears that he could remain out there indefinitely, maybe even watching searchers from a distance. But in the end, if these remains are confirmed to be Decker's, it seems the wilderness itself proved too harsh even for him. Perhaps his survival skills ran out. Perhaps he chose his own ending. Either way, the outcome is the same. The man accused of one of the most shocking crimes in recent Washington history may never face trial. Still, for investigators, the case isn't fully closed. They continue to process the site, gather evidence, and confirm identity. The U.S. Marshals Service has been contacted for more details, and officials say DNA results will provide the final word. Viewers, let me ask you directly, do you think justice has been served if Decker's remains are confirmed? Or is justice denied when a man accused of killing his children dies before trial? That debate will continue long after the DNA results are in. In stories like these, it's easy to lose focus on the victims, to become wrapped up in the chase, the investigation, the fugitive. But we must come back to those girls, Olivia, Evelyn, and Peyton. 3 sisters whose bond should have lasted a lifetime. Their mother's agony, unimaginable. Their community's grief, overwhelming. For them, the discovery of their father's body offers no real resolution. At this point, for months of searching have ended with a discovery, but not with healing. That process will take years, and for many, it may never be complete. The campsite where their lives ended may never again be seen as a place of beauty, only as a scar in the wilderness. As investigators continue their work, one thing remains certain. This case will stand as a grim reminder of how fragile life is, how quickly trust can be broken, and how deeply communities are shaken when violence enters the most sacred bond of all, a parent and child. Stay with us as this story continues to unfold. For now, officials believe Travis Decker has been found. But the bigger story, the heartbreaking one, is about 3 little girls who never got the chance to grow up.